Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping into one of the most raw and emotionally intense texts you'll ever find, the Book of Lamentations. It's this incredibly poetic gut punch of a journey through total devastation. And yet, somehow, hidden inside all that pain is one of the most powerful statements of hope ever written. So, let's explore how it walks that tightrope between utter grief and unwavering faith. Wow, right from the get-go, the book just throws you into the deep end of the pain. And notice, this isn't about broken buildings, it's about a broken heart. The author imagines the entire city of Jerusalem, once this great, vibrant place, as a lonely, grieving widow. That single image just sets this deeply personal and somber tone for everything that's about to follow. All right, so chapter 1, this is where we start the journey through grief. It's like the author is taking us on a tour of a ruined city, carefully pointing out every single thing that's been lost. And you can see here, it's a complete collapse. It's not just one problem, it's everything all at once. Think about it. Her social life is gone. Friends are now enemies. Her spiritual life is in ruins. The priests can barely function. And her future? Well, her children have been captured. The text keeps repeating that she has no comforter, which just drives home this feeling of absolute, crushing isolation. So, in the middle of all this suffering, you'd expect them to start blaming their enemies, right? But what happens is pretty stunning. The book makes this shocking confession. It doesn't point fingers outward, it points inward. The reason for all this devastation, it says, is the city's own sin. So this isn't just a sad poem, it's this incredibly painful moment of self-reflection. So now let's move into chapter 2. Because if you thought that was intense, this is where things take a truly shocking turn. The book names the source of all this destruction, and it's the very last one you would ever expect. Just look at this reversal. It's a total 180. The same God who used to be their protector, their shield, is now described as an enemy warrior attacking his own people. I mean, the imagery is just brutal. God's bow is bent, his anger is like fire, and he's tearing down everything he once protected. That is a really, really difficult idea to grapple with. And of course, this has a devastating human cost. You can almost hear the narrator's voice cracking here. It's the sight of the innocent suffering, the little kids, the babies, just collapsing from hunger in the streets that pushes this grief to its absolute limit. And it's this unbearable sight that really sets the stage for the book's major turning point. So right when the despair feels completely overwhelming, when it seems like there's no way out, the whole tone of the book just shifts on a dime. Right in the middle, in chapter 3, a single voice rises up from the rubble, determined to find a reason for hope against all odds. And this right here, this is the heart of the entire book. You've probably heard these verses before. In the middle of all that chaos and death, the speaker declares that the only reason they haven't been totally wiped out is because of God's love and mercy. It's not a denial of the pain, it's this powerful statement that even in catastrophe, compassion can still exist. And you know, this hope isn't just some passive feeling that washes over him. Look at how he says it. I said to myself, because of this I will have hope. That's a conscious choice. It's an act of will, a decision to cling to faith when absolutely everything else is gone. But just so we don't get carried away, the book immediately yanks us back to the brutal reality on the ground. This isn't cheap hope. This is a hope that has to somehow survive in the absolute worst environment imaginable. And the details in chapter 4 are, well, they're horrifying. They're meant to be. We're talking about a society that is completely broken down. Infants dying of thirst, kids begging for food that simply isn't there. And then the ultimate taboo. Kind women, driven mad by hunger, boiling their own children for food. It is in that reality that the earlier declaration of hope has to exist. So, after this journey through individual pain and one person's choice to hope, the final chapter changes focus one last time. We move from a personal cry to the unified voice of the entire community, all praying together. And this little shift is so significant. The whole story has kind of come full circle. We started with she, the lonely city. Then we got the tortured I of the individual. And now we finally arrive at we. The community, having been through hell together, now raises its voice as one. And this is their prayer. It's so simple, but it's everything. Make us come back to you. Make our days new again. They're not just asking for survival. They're asking for a complete renewal, for a total spiritual rebirth. to get back to the way things were. But here's the kicker. The book doesn't end with a nice, tidy answer. It ends with raw, unresolved tension. After that beautiful plea comes this last, aching question fired off to God. Have you really, completely given up on us? And then, nothing. The book ends, leaving that prayer just hanging in the air. So this ancient text really forces us to ask a question that's still relevant today. After you've been through the absolute worst, after you've lost everything, where does the strength, or maybe even the sheer audacity come from to even ask for a fresh start? And that's the challenge that Lamentations leaves with us.
Thanks for watching.